Hi there YouTube, Big G back again with another video. One of the problems of being a hoarder is that you start running out of space. My games room is only so big, and over the years I've amassed quite a collection here, and it's just simply running out of space. So I've been trimming down my collection, selling off a few items to fellow collectors. I certainly hope that they give them a good home, and yeah, it's something that we have to do, unfortunately. And while I've been going through the different items, the different boxes, I've still got a shed outside that has boxes and boxes of stuff in, and I've been digging through and going through and having a look what I've got duplicates of and so forth. And every now and then you pick up an item and it gives you that nostalgia rush, something that we all enjoy. One of the reasons why I enjoy collecting vintage retro gaming systems and computers is that when I look at the computer, it brings back those memories of being a 12-year-old or 13, 14-year-old, looking through magazines and saying, geez, I wish I had this computer. Can you imagine the games I could play and so forth? And now I have it. But unfortunately, yeah, you become a hoarder. And one of the items I went through, I was going through my Spectrum box. Yeah, I've got a big container full of old Spectrum stuff. And I came across an item that I purchased from an auction many, many years ago. Now, it brought back immediately, hit me with that nostalgia rush, because it came from the shop that I bought my very first computer from. Now, in East London, yeah, in South Africa, if you lived in East London, you would have known of a shop called ELCO. Now, ELCO was a general dealer. In other words, they had everything, but they were one of the few places that you could actually go to and find computer stuff. They were one of the very first shops in East London that actually had computer stuff. They had Spectrums, they had Commodore 64, and I would go in there as a 10, 11-year-old, and I can still remember the displays, going in and having a look at the stuff that was on the shelf, and I was absolutely amazed by it. And, you know, lo and behold, my first computer, here it is here. A Sinclair ZX Spectrum. I still got it in its original box over here. My mom bought this for me. I must have been 11, 12 years old, somewhere around there. And look, I've been on the farm and working with a generator. The Spectrum took a lot of abuse. And every now and then it would blow up, and we'd take it back to ELCO, and they'd be kind enough to swap it out. And we would just blame, you know, Sinclair. They got, yeah, the things are not as reliable as they should be, but I know it was those generators on the farm. But anyway, so it had a number of change outs, call it that way. But anyway, still got the original box, and not for sale. But anyway, so I was going through the stuff, and I'm going to show you the stuff now. But ELCO, every year, yeah, parents would go through there, and I'm sure a lot of the East Londoners will remember. That is where you went and you bought your toys for your Christmas present, toys for your birthday presents and so forth. I can remember getting a Game & Watch there. I can still remember getting my first remote control car or something like that, really basic stuff, and then my first computer. But anyway, I was at this auction, and I saw a lot of Spectrum stuff come up on the auction, and I thought, geez, that's strange. Wow, look at you. There's a couple of Spectrums, there's a whole lot of micro drives, there's a whole lot of software. And I had to look through the stuff, and lo and behold, ELCO were running their accounting systems, price lists and so forth on ZX Spectrums. I mean, I always thought of the ZX Spectrum with its little rubber keyboard as not being a business computer, but more of a gaming early adopters sort of hobbyist type computer. But you know, there was actually companies that were running their serious accounting software on a ZX Spectrum. So yeah, let me just show you the stuff, and yeah, I hope you get that nostalgic kick that I got. Okay, so here's some of the items. And first off, you can see the ZX Spectrums. I mean, can you imagine being an accountant working with this? I mean, there it still has, on the back of it, it states COM number 1 ELCO. So imagine you're a chartered accountant, and this is the keyboard that you have to work on, and you have to do your accounting on. And have a look here, number of micro drives, numbered. They were all daisy chained together with ZX interfaces. Here's another one of the, you can see well used. The keyboard's well used. And then heaps and heaps of the actual software. And they had them in these containers over there, all the micro drives. And you can see in 1985, 86, 95. So the earliest ones that I can see here is from in the late 80s, but all the way through to 95. Wow, 88. So that's a long time that they were actually running their software. I've given some of these away or to fellow collectors before, so I don't have the full set that I had originally. But if I have a look on the side, it states their price lists. So there's price lists in here, there's one that says business on there, and so forth. And then, of course, the software. Password 2, still on tape. Oh, I would have hated to have to sit there every morning and have to load up on a tape my accounting software. Password 3, that's with the, it's got the micro drive in there. TAS diary, still on tape. TAS print and TAS copy. Now my memory is a little bit fuzzy whether this software came with this lot. I'm almost certain it did. I could be mistaken. I mean, who else would be running all that software, you know, with South African rands on them, you know, 44 rand 50 over there. So it's definitely not something that I got from the UK. And it was lying in the box together with the stuff. So I take it all comes together with that. But I mean, look at that. Accounting software, good old Spectrum, being used as to run a business. And yeah. But otherwise, yeah. So guys, just a quick video from me. I mean, just remembering a great old shop, ELCO. I know that it burned down in 1984, and there were a couple of deaths. You know, there was people that we knew that was passed away in that fire, so very tragic. The shop was never quite the same after that. But yeah, I have fond memories of going to ELCO and always looking at the software. I bought my first games there, first computer there, first toys there. So that was great. Okay, guys, cheers from me. And remember, keep it retro.